What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and it's been a while since I've done a construction update on this channel, but since both Universal Studios and Disney World are going to be undertaking some major projects in the coming years, there's going to be a lot of construction going on with these two parks, so I figured let's get back in the saddle to take a look at the latest construction progress, and this time we are going to head over to Universal Studios with the destruction of Ride Rockit and its replacement that is going to be taking its place. And some work is going on over at Epic Universe, and we'll also look at what Lost Continent currently looks like, as there is going to be some construction and demolition happening in the very near future. So thanks to BioReconstruct on Twitter X, as he's back in the sky providing some great views of the construction progress. So let's get to it and start looking at the current progress of Ride Rockit's destruction. And for those that may not be aware, Ride Rockit, which opened at Universal Studios on August 19th, 2009, and officially closed on August 18th of this year. Now, there is a replacement coaster that is coming to replace Ride Rockit, but in typical Universal fashion, they have not said what this coaster will be or which IP it may be based on. And there have been rumors swirling for months about what might be replacing Ride Rockit. And again, these are just rumors, but there is the rumor of Ghostbusters, and there's also been the rumor, which I think is pretty likely, which is going to be a Fast and Furious based roller coaster that could be coming in here, which would also likely mean that the Fast and Furious Supercharged attraction, which everybody loves and adores, of course,
what did you say?
Would make way for something new, as you would likely not have two Fast and Furious attractions in the same park. So this is likely just the beginning of some major changes continuing to come to Universal Studios. And in terms of Ride Rockit's demolition, Universal has wasted no time in tearing down this attraction, and while they are currently tearing down Ride Rockit, they are actually starting on the construction of its replacement coaster. So you have demolition and construction happening at the same time.
Put the pedal to the metal, let's go!
And taking a look at Ride Rockit, we can see in this photo the iconic loop that would meet guests as they enter Universal Studios is now just about gone, and the skyline here is going to look much different, at least for a short period of time here. And like we said, as this ride is being demolished, they are beginning its replacement, and we can see the foundations with rebar that are being made for the replacement coaster support footers right here. And in this ground level view, we can see some of the rebar that has been placed for the foundations as well. And here is a really cool look at the current demolition inside the former Hollywood Ride Rockit's loading station. And we can see lots of activity going on where the replacement coaster is going to be extending into an area of City Walk near the Hard Rock Cafe. Now, the replacement coaster that is going to be replacing Ride Rockit does have a larger footprint than Ride Rockit currently does. And here we can see to the right side here that an area has been cleared out that is near the old Ghostbusters firehouse. And it is rumored that this is where the load and unload station will be for the new roller coaster. And here we can see in this narrow area here where the Ride Rockit track was, as it has been recently removed and continuing to remove parts of this ride. And here is a good look at the former maintenance building of Hollywood Ride Rockit, which is in the process of being torn down. Now, this is an interesting look at sand that you can see inside of the rails of Ride Rockit as they have been cut. And some probably know this, but sand is often used to fill the rails of roller coasters to reduce noise and ride vibration on roller coasters many times. And here we can see this piece of equipment that is being used to create the deep foundations for the replacement coaster for Ride Rockit. And in here in this series of photos, we have a good compilation of what is left of the destruction of Ride Rockit as basically being torn apart and just thrown into a heap pile. And obviously, looking at this ride is not going to be repurposed, as it is being destroyed and cut apart as they tear it down. Now, hopping over to Epic Universe to cover construction does feel kind of nostalgic, as we did this for many months and years before Epic Universe opened. And you might be thinking this park has just been open for just 4 months, but there is ongoing work here as there was some mysterious construction materials that showed up, which led to some speculation that this potentially could be for a new attraction or something else coming to the park. But as it turns out, it is just for a wall that is likely to remove the sight line of the water treatment facility that is on this side of the park. Although I do not believe that this is going to be a smell wall, as there is some complaints of being able to smell some of the not so pleasant odors coming from the water treatment facility in this area. But I don't believe this is a smell wall. I just believe this is for sight lines. We can see the current progress of that wall that is being constructed, which is similar in size to the wall that does surround parts of Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure over in Islands of Adventure, to give you an idea of the size and scale of this wall. Now, this could point to future development in this area of Epic Universe, but as of right now, there is nothing to point to anything that Universal has plans for other than just constructing this wall at this time in this area. Now, there is another permit out there for Epic Universe where it's likely to be some sort of entertainment venue that is rumored to be going into this expansion plot in Epic Universe near Celestial Park. But thus far, looking at the picture here, we can see that there hasn't been any activity here, but we will keep an eye out on this for future updates to see if there is anything being built here. And jumping over into Islands of Adventure, there will soon be construction and demolition of the Lost Continent taking place, as recently there have been construction walls put up, and in previous videos I've discussed the rumors of what could be coming to this area of Islands of Adventure, which could be anything from One Piece, maybe an expansion of Hogsmeade, or maybe even Pokemon coming into Islands of Adventure. Now, there were permits that were found out by people online that pointed to this was likely an area that was soon to have something done with it. Shortly after that, Universal did come out and say that they are clearing this area, but for an undetermined future use. So we'll have to wait and see what happens here. I don't believe that they are just clearing this area just for fun. I do believe something is coming here, and what sort of activity happens here after the Lost Continent is torn down. But I'm just going to say right now, don't you dare touch Mythos. It's great. You can retheme it. You can change how it looks, but just don't touch the food and leave the inside of the restaurant as it is. It is one of my favorite restaurants in any theme park. And if you haven't been, I highly recommend you go and try the lamb burger. It's excellent. Well, that's going to do it for this Universal Studios construction update. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for future updates. Like I said, we're going to be covering Universal Studios construction updates and all the construction happening at Walt Disney World as well, as these two destinations are only going to continue to be building more attractions and lands in their theme parks, and we will be covering it here to give you the latest progress on these new things coming to the parks. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.